I'm so happy to be in Santa Barbara. It's so much better than New York right now. And did I find my light? I learned how to do that. I'm so happy to be here. Really, you're such a wonderful audience. I saw the last part of it with you. I was standing over there, and it was so delightful to hear you. And you know, I just you do these things hoping to connect with anybody, and I hear you and I feel you. So thank you. I'm happy to thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions at all. Yes. Yes, you.
Thank you.
Talk loud for the people.
Yeah, congratulations. I have to ask, when did you decide to make a documentary? Or is there always a camera crew following you? And you just
First of all, why are you yelling? The quick story is that the head of Sony called me into his office, and he said, you know, Sony created the sitcom business in Russia. They never had sitcoms before. The Nanny, you saw that part, right? So you should see the characters over there. They come from all these disparate backgrounds to make sitcoms now, all of a sudden. All they had was nighttime soap operas and some sketch shows, but now there's sitcoms. And it's so crazy over there. How would you like to go over and wait? He says, observe how we do it, then come back and write a fictional feature film, about a showrunner who goes over there to have his show translated. So I said, well, that could be funny, but if this situation really exists and the people are really there, why not bring a camera crew over and just film what happens? And he thought, I love that idea. Would you be the guy? And like an idiot, I said yes. And so I went and I did it. He had said, do your show over there. So that's the movie. I didn't know what I was going to get. I had no idea if it would be that funny. I didn't just, you know, I shot for a couple of months. I got like 200 hours. And I cut it down to 85 minutes, and that was the good stuff, right? But you don't know when you have a documentary. You don't know. You have to be very lucky. I didn't know that they would be so great, and I didn't know my parents would be so hilarious. I'm lucky to have them. I really am. I mean, I'm lucky just from birth, I guess. I'm very lucky. They were always very supportive, and they didn't steer me toward show business, but they were supportive of whatever I did. And now I was lucky to have material to write some of Raymond with them in mind, right? And then to have them be brilliant comedy performers too. Yeah. Yes.
Congratulations, Phil. It was great.
Thank you.
John.
Yes, he's good too.
Really
yes.
Well, he's wonderful.
Yes.
It was very much like a Chekhov play, like really well done. It was
Thank you.
amazing how that all spun out. So what happened in Poland?
Oh, they're doing it in Poland. Yes, and I'm not going. Now I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Here's where they asked me to go last week. This is the newest place they're doing it. Would I consider going? I'm not kidding. Cairo.
Yeah, not now.
The K&R insurance there would be really...
Yes.
Well, to build on that, do you think comedy has geopolitical implications here? In other words, so to me, it seemed the reason it wasn't working at first is everyone was keeping up appearances and they weren't being real people.
Yeah.
Comedy is the way to get people to be real people, people to people. Maybe that has some geopolitical implications.
You're like a professor. I should have talked to you at the beginning. But I think that's right. I think, yes. In fact, it was explained to me the Russians... Who's Russian? Anybody Russian here? Yes? What did you think, ma'am? Oh, good for you. Because you're just happy to be out of there, aren't you? Ha ha, look at them over there. I know how it is. No, what was explained to me was that the Russians are coming from a place of maybe a little bit of humiliation from having lost the Cold War. The last thing they need is some American know-it-all coming over and telling them what to do with their business. So I think that was some of the resistance that I was getting. I think I could also be a putz that nobody likes. That could also be. But, you know, I have to say, even though I had frustration there, I was trying to make the point that it's just as frustrating here. I meet the same network executives who treat me just as badly here. Doesn't matter, right? So there's no, I'm not saying we're better, they're better. It's, people are, I think, pretty much the same underneath. We all have the shell, and then what's underneath is what I was trying to get at. Yes?
Did you do stand-up, or did you already start writing? How did you just get started?
I never did stand. I think I tried it once when I was 19. It scared the hell out of me. It's very hard to do.
You're good.
Oh, thanks. Okay, now I'll do a set for you. These are my Santa Barbara jokes. I thought, you know, I watched a lot of TV as a kid. My parents will tell you way too much. And when you're a kid, you don't know there's writing and directing and producing. You know, I watched The Honeymooners, and I liked them. And I said, I'll do that. I want to be like them. And so I went to school for that, for acting. And you know, I was a big star in high school and college, and then I moved to New York, and nobody cared. And some friends of mine and I wrote a show for ourselves to be in. We were all out of work. And this show, though, became something called Tony and Tina's Wedding. I don't know if you've heard of this. Yes, yes. I don't see a dime from that show.
Yeah,
Yes?
I've seen it.
You've seen that show?
Awesome.
Yeah, I was the original priest off Broadway. Can you believe that?
You were?
Yeah, typecasting, I think, don't you?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic timing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well
Thank
done.
you. So that was fun. And then, you know, that didn't work out for whatever reason. And then I found myself with nothing again. And then I started writing. And I didn't know it, but I was a very good student of television. I wasn't just watching. I guess something was getting through. Who knows? You know, sometimes life presents what you're supposed to do. Yes?
Is the costume design woman still part of the process?
I love her. She you know, after I took that break in the middle of the movie, right, they sent me back home for 10 months while they shut down for God knows why. Most people left and went on to other shows. She went on to do a science fiction fantasy show. I'm sure she was very happy. Doing all those kinds. So when you see she comes back at the end, I'm very happy to see her. She's happy to see me. We didn't have to work together. And she really does do that. I said, what do you do in your spare time? I thought she was going to say, I go clubbing, you know, and with the clubs and all the nightlife and everything. She says, I have 3 Pekingese dogs, and I like dressing them up. Yes.
What did you think of some of the American actors compared to the Russian ones? Or, you know,
Yeah.
how they play the roles?
Yeah. What did I think of the Americans compared to the Russians?
Yeah, the actors who played the roles.
Yeah. You know, I got to kind of handpick the American ones myself. You saw I had only something of a say in the Russian. You know, I can't say that I was as crazy about the guy that we ended up with, and I made no bones about not being crazy about the one who's in most of the picture. But you saw I loved that guy that got away. I mean, isn't it obvious how great he was?
Yes.
And people ask me, how can you know, when I was over there, how could you tell anything? They're speaking Russian. I treat you. You can tell. When you go to see Roberto Benigni, right? You know, we don't speak the language, you don't have to read the subtitles. He's funnier than the guy he's standing next to. You just know, right?
What's
Sorry?
become of the guy that you liked?
What's become of the guy that I liked? He's probably working in theater. He's probably very successful. You know, he's probably not as rich as he could be, but it's not his life. Once you're an actor, you are owned by the theater. You have a theater master, and he has the biggest. He has the biggest, strictest, you know, there really is no equivalent for that guy. He is God. It just so happens that God likes the singing fish on the wall. Yes. Oh, sweet.
I just loved it. Just
Thank you.
Inspiring and funny, and your timing, and when you would turn and look at the camera is great. I'm a comedy writer or performer myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you. And I wanted to know, how did you do that brilliant narration? You know, when you were looking over the footage,
Yes.
did you stand with like a tape recorder and make comments, or did you type it?
That's a good
while
question.
You were back in the studio?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
A lot of it was pre-written. I'll tell you how.
Oh, great.
as the thing was happening to me, and because you can't do so many things at once, like, how could I be a director and be in it and do my job as the guy trying to help the Russians make the TV show, right? So I made a decision early on. I would have 2 cameras, which is unusual for documentary. Usually there'd be 1 camera. They'd film you talking to me, and then we'd do a fake reaction of me going, oh, interesting, because we only have 1 camera. But I thought it would be more real and natural and wouldn't have to fake anything if we had 2. So that was my big directing, and then I left it alone. I wasn't directing again until I was in the editing room, right? Where the real putting together of the movie comes. But what I would do, and this took a little discipline, was after every day of hell over there, I would write an email to my family and friends back home saying what happened. A lot of those emails, and I saw right away that I was getting reaction, ha ha, keep writing to us, it's so hilarious how you are suffering. And don't you know that these emails, this writing, became kind of the framework for the film. I was telling a story. I forced myself to tell a story. You can too. You could actually go through the events of your day, any day, and make it make sense. We don't. We just go blindly through every day wondering what the hell. But you actually, if you write things down, you can and read them back, your life suddenly is a story. It may not be very interesting, but you can make it interesting if you say, you know, I don't want to write something boring tonight.
That's great. You had an audience, too, an email audience.
I had an email audience. I think I will at some point, I will start publishing those letters, maybe in time for the release of the film. Maybe we'll have, oh yeah, my producer John wants me to tell you that please, it's a little movie. So we need all your help going on the tweeting and the twitting and the twatting and whatever you do. And the Facebooking, right?
And this, and today.
Oh, and if we win the Santa Barbara Film Festival, then we're golden. But we need you, honestly. And I think there's fun stuff coming up on the website, and if you tell your friends, that helps us. So thanks. Hello.
Did you ever find out the truth about your driver?
What happened to Eldar?
Yeah.
It's a Russian mystery. It really is. Here's what I think. Somebody told me this. And I think I believe this. We got along very well. You could see that we were naturally, we became friends. And maybe he did tell me the truth. Maybe he did go in for tests, right? Because there really was something there. But he told his people, he told the other Russians, that he was going on vacation, because in Russia, maybe if you tell them you're sick, you lose your job. Okay, so that makes sense, right? What doesn't make sense is, how does he come in looking like George Hamilton at the end of the day? He looks better than anyone I know. He looks like a movie star. So I don't understand, I really don't. Unless that's part of the thing to convince the Russians that he's not sick. I don't know. All I know is that he's a great guy. I really love him. I mean, you couldn't write that with the shells, with the seashells, right? So beautiful. I almost lost it in that war museum when he told me that. I was like, my God. Yes?
You said that you started off wanting to act.
Yes.
I think it's important for writers and people that want to write and direct to have some acting experience or take some acting classes to be able to write.
Did you hear what he said? Smart guy in the front? He said, do you think it's important for actors to take writing classes and directors to take acting classes? I tell everybody this. Whenever I go speak at a school or something, are you an actor or something?
Writing.
Writing. Okay, so I say to you, if you're a writer, take a directing class, take an acting class, because they're all branches off the same tree. And you make the whole tree stronger if you know all the other disciplines. The reason one of the reasons might have been okay was because I could tell the difference between a writing problem, directing problem, acting problem. I had all those disciplines. So if I'm on if we're rehearsing and something's not working, a lot of writers that I had worked for, actually, they didn't want to communicate. They didn't want to talk to the actors, so we'll just go in the room and fix it. And then you're there till 3 in the morning fixing something that wasn't broken. If you just would have said, hey, maybe if you're next to him, this will be funnier, and if you hit this word, you'll get that laugh, and then the line works, and the scene works, maybe the show works. So the answer is yes. Take all the different things, because it'll make you stronger in all the disciplines. Yes, yes.
In the credits, I noticed it said, based on the stand-up comedy of Ray Romano.
In the credits of Everybody Loves Raymond, it would say, based on the stand-up comedy of Ray Romano. That was not true. It was based on his actual life. It really was. He really had twin boys, an older daughter, parents who lived close by, a brother who was a police sergeant who was divorced, who lived with them, who touched every bite of food to his chin before he ate it. Yes, really. But what I didn't know about them, and I never met them, I filled in with my beautiful parents. And my wife. Yes, yes. That's how it happened. I can't see very well because yes.
Did you try to place this at Sundance, if you don't mind a sort of a political question?
A political? That's political?
Well, it could be, because it's...
Why, there are Republicans there? That might be why we didn't get in. Yes?
Have they tried to write any of their own original episodes?
Aha! Good question. Have they tried to write any of their own? The way they do it, I don't have time to explain it in the movie, but the way they make the show over there is they take our scripts, 210 now, and they film them every other day. And they're on TV, like a soap opera, at night, every night, Monday to Friday. Every night, a new show. They're burning through 9 years of my show in a year and a half. And now they're hitting the point where they have to write their own. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. It takes a long time. We took months on every script. Yeah.
Did they ever adopt a full-on live audience?
Did they ever bring on a full live audience? No, I told you. The excuse they gave me, we would have to get chairs. Too expensive. Too expensive. They would have to, then they couldn't do a show every other day. They save a lot of money. Look, you know how much it costs to do a half hour of American television, right? It costs like $1 million, $2 million, right? And once the actors start wanting more money as the show goes on, it could be $3, $4 million per episode. How much is a half hour of Russian TV like you see there? $80,000. All in. That's actor salaries, everybody below the line, above the line, craft service, editing, post-production, everything, $80,000. I have to say, it looks it. I can't see very well. Yes?
Supposing it had not turned out well.
Supposing it hadn't.
What would have been the consequences for the film?
I would have been executed by Sony. I actually went into Sony with the movie, and an executive said to me, this is how little films are treated today. I think your film is very good. I really do. It's really a very good film. But I must tell you, in our business, good doesn't really enter into it.
What does?
Yes. So that's the name of my next book. Yes.
So was your book the business case, since both this movie and the series in Russia is not a gold mine for you?
I'm sorry, say that again, sir?
The art of doing this is magnificent. It's a magnificent show. What was
Thank
your business case for doing this?
What was my business case for doing it? I didn't have a business case for doing it. I meant what I said at the beginning. It was kind of an undeniable opportunity. You have to go. Look, when I wrote the pilot for Raymond, I didn't know if one person would like it. I didn't know that it would get on TV. I didn't know they'd even let me film it. And then to get on the schedule, and then to last the season, and then to have any success beyond that, and then what we had, it's like a dream come true, and now another country, our old mortal enemies want it? This is a dream. So I had to do it. And then look what happened. Yeah, I had to. It's not about the money. Yes? I'm looking.
Can you tell us more about the dinner scene and what happened with that family?
I wish I could tell you more about the dinner scene, but I blacked out. I did love that family. They were wonderful. I'm in touch with them a little bit, and I have to tell you that what you saw was exactly what happened. They can't, and anyone who's Russian knows this is normal. The vodka comes to the table, and I mean, it was every dinner. I didn't film every dinner that I had, but in restaurants and what, a carafe comes, and you go, oh, here's the water, I'm thirsty, and you, and they drink it like water, and I have to tell you, it's very good. I found some I'm going to plug a product that just recently became available in the United States, because I found it over there. I got to taste a lot of things, and the brand is Russian Standard Platinum. Have you heard of it? wow, go to the liquor store right now and get it. It's about $30, $40 a bottle. It's not super expensive. And it's like the first delicious vodka that I have ever had. And not only that, but what I found was, I mean, it's so prevalent, it's so on every table at every meal. I found that the food there is brilliantly designed to go with vodka. Yes, like pickled things and things like this, and beef and stuff. It just goes with it. It's like a great wine pairing. I could talk all day about this. Yes?
The Russians seem so natural in front of the cameras that how did they react to you telling in advance of the cameras?
The Russians seem very natural in front of the cameras. Yes, I don't know what happens, but listen, so did my parents. You know, you come into my parents' house, that house where I grew up, where they lived 40 years, and you come up to my mother, and a guy comes with a microphone and says, "I'm going to put this up your shirt, Mrs. Rosenthal." And she puts it up her shirt. Oh my, she says, they clip it here, okay? And now you're going to wear this battery pack on your ass, Mrs. Rosenthal. And then your father, my father's doing this. It's the most unnatural thing in the world. Two guys with big cameras are standing here, lights, another big fat guy with a boom mic hanging down. And within 5 minutes, they're fighting as if nobody's there. Can't explain it. I just think you forget about it after a while. That explains all the reality shows, right? I mean, how do these idiots behave? Don't they know they're on television? No, they forget. My parents haven't seen the movie yet. I'm waiting. My father did say, "You didn't put in that scene where I'm an idiot, did you?" Yes.
Are you seeing the episodes that they shoot?
Yes. Am I seeing them? Yes. I see them, and I look at them online, and they have a link, and I can go on and watch. And I'm watching one, and it seems fine. You know, you have to let go a little bit. It's for them. And then I'm watching, and I think I made something of an impact. Listen, I'd like to say that I'm the reason why that the show went, because I went over there and made it so. But what I really think happened was they said yes, 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 and as soon as I left, they did whatever the hell they wanted. But I'm watching one, and all of a sudden, a sexy nurse comes in with a low-cut thing, and big here, and woo, woo, woo. And she's doing this scene, and I'm like, I don't remember a nurse of any kind in the show. And I call up, and I say, I noticed a nurse, a sexy nurse. I don't remember. And they say, we like nurses. Yes, hello.
How did you get the wonderful translator?
How did I get the translator?
Yeah.
You know, she is a brilliant girl, and she just works over there translating for the American shows into the thing. And really, she was there to help the American showrunners speak to the Russians. But what I found was she was so brilliant at it. I mean, she could start translating what somebody was saying in the middle of their sentence, hear the rest of their sentence while telling me the sentence. I mean, it was incredible. But she was so good, and she would say to me, you know, they did not do what you intended here in the script. I said, what would you do? Well, it should be ba 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 ba. And I say, you are now the translator of the show. Because that's how good she was. Yeah, Marina. Love her. We're going to have a premiere in New York. Lincoln Center likes the movie, and they're giving us a premiere at the Film Society at Lincoln Center, and I'm going to, thanks. So here's the idea. Tell me if you like this idea. I'm going to bring over the premiere and then do Q&A with Eldar, Marina, and the costume lady. Yes? And my parents. Yeah. They'll tell you the truth. Yes?
Heard any reaction from the director of the Moscow Art Theater? Has he seen the show?
I don't think he's ever seen it. You know, he thinks the news is very good. In the back, yes.
How do you plan to market the film? I mean, you said you need a big center. How
Yes.
are you going to market it? Are you going
I'm going to use you. I'm going to ask you to help me. I don't know how else to do it. You know, the budget for this film was $1.5 million. You would have thought the studio carried on like I made Avatar. And so, you know how they determine how much to spend on a movie? I just learned this actually this month. I never knew this. There's an actual way a studio figures out how to spend what they spend on which movie. It's how much the movie costs. So that good doesn't really enter into it. We spent this, we'll spend this. That way, if it flops, wasn't my fault. We followed the formula. See?
But it costs less than a television show.
It costs less than a television show. I'm going to give you Sony's number and you call them. No, Samuel Goldwyn is now distributing and they're terrific. And Sony can't distribute little movies. They wouldn't know how. They do Spider-Man.
Sony Pictures Classics too.
They do, but that's a completely separate entity. They don't even talk to each other that much, to be honest. But Samuel Goldwyn is sub-distributing for Sony. I'm very happy with them. They're very excited about the movie. And we'll do what we can. You know, the internet is now the way, especially for little pictures. This is the way. So I really mean it when I say I need you. Yeah.
What are you working on now other than this?
Right now?
Yeah.
I'm going to go lie down. Very tired. But, you know, I don't know if you've heard, but business is terrible. So like everybody else, I've had to diversify. So I'm working on an animated show. I'm working on a sitcom for the BBC in London. I'm working on a Broadway show. I have 2 screenplays out there. I even have an idea for a reality show. Everything. It's fun. Yeah. Anybody else? We good? Thank you so much. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.